All right, so I know people have been wondering what is the FOIA request? How do I utilize it? So basically, just real quickly, I have a friend that's looking to move to another jurisdiction, another state, another public housing authority. She's having a hard time finding housing that's suitable to her taste. So I'm trying to figure out how do we go about finding out where are people open to renting to people with Section 8 vouchers, so that we can save a lot of frustration, headaches, trying to find something, especially at the last minute. And you know that these properties are redlining, discriminating against Section 8 voucher holders based off of income, race, prejudice, whatever. And so, what I basically did is I came up with a FOIA request. A FOIA request here is it spells out on this website, which is the Housing Authority of Cook County. Says what a FOIA request is. It's part of a federal law that says that government agencies have to release data to you, um, to basically keep them open and honest and transparent. Some of that information can be redacted. Basically, they'll use a black marker to remove it, or they'll not include it at all, if the information is considered confidential. So it's like someone's name and address who's receiving Section 8 is considered confidential, so they will not release that information to the public. That being said, so what I wanted to do was find out what is the approximate areas where these Section 8 voucher holders are living, in Indianapolis, let's say, or Chicago, or a bigger city like New York. Where do they actually live? And so what I did is I sent their FOIA request by email to the agency. So if you go here, they tell you, go to our contact us page, and then you can submit your FOIA request. Um, Not all of them have this option. So here they have FOIA down here. Even though they have this option on their website, they don't respond to it. Um, I think, yeah, this might be something new, but anyway, I'll have to see. But anyway, so they have to respond usually like in 48-hour business days. 48 hours of business days, they'll respond, let you know they're working on it, they received it, acknowledge it. That's if they're being professional, which of course, most housing authorities probably aren't being professionals. So it's just chaotic. So they'll receive it, they'll let you know that we're working on the request. But basically, in the FOIA request, as you can see over here, dear FOIA officer, under the Freedom of Information Act FOIA, I would like to request the following information: a list of all properties, addresses, city, state, zip code, and um, landlord names. And come on, man, you can do it. You can do it. Okay, hit the cast button. Um, and I would like the information in Excel spreadsheet format. So here I'm just saying I want the landlord names and list of that are currently receiving um, housing choice voucher funding. Okay, so put a little bullet point there to kind of make that stand out for them, whatever, you know. And then I said like the information Excel spreadsheet. I will not be using information for commercial purposes. And as a citizen, I'm making this request because the media and anybody that's using the information for advertisement or whatever for commercial purposes, they have to pay the government a fee to get that information, which they probably never do. So anyway, you sign it. Regards. You don't have to sign it. You're going to be sending this via email, preferably. Then you put your email address and phone number because they may want to contact you to question you to find out what you up to, who you trying to snitch on. You trying to get somebody fired, So anyway, no, they'll call you and just want to clarify what information you are seeking usually. Um, so you send that, then they'll respond to you with some lengthy email about the Freedom of Information Act, and then they'll usually attach the files that you're looking for in a Excel spreadsheet. And then you're just going to go, once you receive that file, over to uh, google.com/mymaps, When you go there, let's see, you're going to um, you're going to see something here that says create a new map. You're going to have to create an account with Gmail if you don't have one, but hopefully you have one by now because they're so much better than Yahoo. But then you're going to click on new map, and then you're going to get the file that you received. If you save it to your computer, you're going to import it, upload it from your computer, or if it's saved to Google Drive, you can do it from there, or you can copy and paste. Um, I'm going to just drag and drop the file over here, and then once that file is uploaded, it's going to ask you what information you want it to look at in your database. That shows you. So these are the different fields in the database that they sent me. It shows me the second number in the street address. They won't give me the full street address because they don't want me to identify the voucher holder, which I respect that. But they give me one of the digits out of the physical address. And then they've got the street name, so that's pretty good. Apartment number, I don't really care about that. The city, I do. The state, obviously, hopefully it's all Illinois, but never know. Zip code, I would like to have that information to be pulled from in order to generate where to put the pins and the location of these vouchers. The vendor name, I don't need that. Obviously, that's not going to tell me anything about where it's located. But when I want to pick a column to use as a title for the place marks, you can choose any one of those fields. Also, I'm just going to choose vendor name because in the vendor name, which I didn't show you in the spreadsheet, the vendor name actually is the name of the landlord or the property that's receiving the payment and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I click on finish. It's loading this information up onto the map. So it's going to be looking at what the city is in the address, what the state, what the zip code is, and then it's going to populate pins across the map here that I can click on. So you can see here I'm in, this is Chicago. These are all the voucher holders in Chicago. And if I can double click on this, I can zoom in down here on the little plus sign. Now just keep in mind, this doesn't tell me the exact address of the voucher holder, but let's say I wanted to live in this area because people tell me, oh, this is a nice area, and I know what that zip code is. I can go here and see, oh, 60609. Or if I just say, oh, I love to live by the lake. Now I don't know if, let's say here's near downtown, this is near the museum campus, the Shedd Aquarium. So let's click on here. So here it's telling me that someone lives on South Michigan Avenue in the 60605 zip code. And it tells me the FC Central Station Senior. So this is a senior building. So there's a senior building that is accepted Section 8. They've got, looks like maybe one person living there, 2 people or something. This other one's on Wabash apartment. So what I could do is I could take this information, 600, let's say 600 South Wabash, and I can say search Google for this. I can, once 600 South Wabash LP, which is the street address, I can go on the Google Maps and I can now look at that building and say, okay, this is 600. So it's one of these buildings here. I look around, it's probably this building here, 601. So it's actually across the street. So it's this building here that there are people or somebody in there with Section 8. They got a rooftop, which I don't know if the tenants can go in there, if it's VIP or Trump lives up there or something. But I can also contact this vendor, this landlord, this property manager, and say, hey, you know, would you happen to have any other properties available that I could possibly rent? You know, and so if I go in here, 600 South Washington Wabash Studio Apartment. So it looks like they're studios. I don't know if they're gonna have 1 bedrooms or not, but I can do a lot of different research. Now it tells me studios, 1 bath. So it seems like all of them are just studios, 1 bath. But then I can call them up and just say, hey, you know, would you happen to have an apartment available? So as I go through here, you know, you're not going to see everything on Go, Section 8, and all these other affordablehousing.com. You go through here and you can just say, you know, I want to live over here in Logan Square. And you have a hard time finding a place in Logan Square. But you can see everybody over here, they don't have a problem renting to Section 8 people, but Belmont Gardens, Logan Square, Avondale, Bricktown, this is the premium areas of Chicago, and they don't want your kind out there. So that's their redlining. So I'm not even going to bother looking at West Lakeview for an apartment or Roscoe for an apartment. I'm going to go around here, this zip code, find out what the zip code is. 60639 and no 60647. You know, I know I got a good chance of living on Skid Row. No, I'm just kidding. It's really nice over there. I don't know, but anyway, that's how it works. So you can, you know, save this map. You can share the map with people. You can add layers or whatever the heck that means. So there's something in here. I wanted to let's see, base map. I wanted to look at like a satellite view. I don't know if it's going to allow that to do that, but anyway. So anyway, there's somewhere in here you can do that. I'm sure. I just don't know what I'm doing. But you can do satellite view and all that stuff to get the view idea. Okay, hopefully this is helpful. Good luck.